DocTalk is brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.
Hey folks, welcome to the show today. Glad you joined us. We're going to have a great show. We got Dr. Tera Barnhardt that's with us. And before we get to Tera, I want to talk a little bit about thanks to the guys down in Alabama, Mogo Goulay cattle. What's Gourlay? Gourlay is a Wagyu-Charolais cross. So a new breed of cattle coming out of Alabama. Thanks to them sending up. Great jerky, by the way. Now, we're going to talk about what you can do as a millennial or as a female veterinarian working into a cow-calf operation. Dr. Barnhardt's one of the best veterinarians I know. It's going to be a great show.
As dependable as the sunrise, in dairy parlors, open pastures, on ranches and feed yards across America, a place where reputation is more than a name, where the science of healthier animals is a way of life. It's the responsibility that drives who we are and what we do. Every decision, every day. It's your livelihood and our responsibility.
Closed captioning brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value.
This segment brought to you by the new Hired Hand Portable Cow Sprayer. For more information, visit cowsprayer.com.
Hey there and welcome to DocTalk. I have a special guest today. Dr. Tera Barnhardt is with us. She is the coordinator of animal health and welfare at Cattle Empire, which is located in Sublette, Kansas, down in the southwest corner. Would that be your address? Or
all of our facilities are in Haskell County,
okay.
And Cattle Empire is all located in that county, but our address is Satana, Kansas.
Satana, Kansas. And I've actually played golf at the Satana
Very nice.
9-hole golf course. But anyway, it's a pleasure for me to have Tera on the show. She is a former undergraduate student, veterinary student. We've known each other, but she's always been someone who has pushed me, someone that has always been there as a friend and a colleague, and so to have you here on the show just means the world to me.
Well, it's a pleasure to hear that, and I don't know how you even follow something like that, because you've always been a good friend and mentor of mine as well.
So it's fun, and Tera, talk to me a little bit about, today's show we're going to talk about being a millennial and being female and being a veterinarian. And when we talk about millennials, we hear, well, the people want to live in the basement of their parents' home, right? And then the female breaking through the veterinary ranks as a food animal practitioner, as a woman. We really want to just kind of shed some light on that. But above all, I will tell you this. This is one tremendous veterinarian. And I'm tickled to death to have you on the show just so we can get your input and some of your interactions. So talk a little bit about your path to veterinary medicine.
I grew up on a family farm and ranch there in Satana, Kansas, so I haven't really ventured very far. I've come full circle back to my hometown to work. And I wanted to be a veterinarian when I saw my veterinarian interacting with our family and working with us on a daily basis. It just sparked my interest, and I thought that's where I belong, working out with people, serving the beef industry, and getting my boots dirty on a daily basis. So I saw what he was doing for our family and how much I learned from him, and that kind of inspired me to go to K-State and get my education in that.
I think that it is. It's something that it's a passion. There's a passion for animals, but there's an equal passion for two other things, and that's a passion for the people that raise the animals and learning that drive veterinarians on a day-to-day basis. And so from there, when you graduated veterinary school, you went right into a mixed animal practice, correct?
Yes, I worked at a mixed animal practice right after graduation, and I took on almost exclusively all of the bovine clientele because that was my interest. And so managing all of the animals, walking into a veterinary clinic is very different, a big adjustment as a new grad, but taking on the bovine clientele was something that presented its own challenges, but it was a lot of fun for me to do as a young veterinarian.
And today you're on staff for dairy, calf ranch, and cattle feeding operation.
Yes.
Great. Well, we're gonna start getting into some of the things and talking about the progression. I know you all have questions about your veterinary service, about millennials, different things of that nature. Dr. Tera is gonna answer them right after these messages.
This Prevention Works Minute, brought to you by Boehringer Ingelheim Vet Medica, Inc.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan here. Welcome to Prevention Works, which is a segment sponsored by Boehringer Ingelheim Vet Medica to talk about things that you can do to promote preventative medicine from having injury and sickness in your cow herd. And I just want to talk about having a veterinarian on your farm, specifically establishing a veterinary client-patient relationship. When we have a veterinary client-patient relationship, what that means is that the veterinarian understands your operation, has seen your cattle, is part of understanding the expertise, the facilities, the geographical area, and things to make medical decisions. The second part of that veterinary client-patient relationship is that you, the producer, will use antibiotics in the way that the veterinarian has prescribed in the case that your animals need it. The veterinarian also needs to be available for follow-up calls. Get a VCPR ASAP.
Say this is a calf that's been run through the chute a few too many times. Going through the chute stresses cattle, causing them not to eat like they should. Luckily, Pyramid 5 plus Presponse SQ provides proven protection against key respiratory diseases in a single shot, with just one trip through the chute. Talk to your veterinarian about Pyramid 5 plus Presponse SQ, and soon your calves will relax and eat like a whole different animal.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
This segment brought to you by the new Hired Hand Portable Cow Sprayer. For more information, visit cowsprayer.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Tera Barnhardt. Hard for me not to say her name. I know it. But anyway, names change, and Sheldon's a great guy. So
He's a lucky guy,
that's
right?
right. He is very lucky. Now, when we start talking about moving, and going into the veterinary profession, and again, we're talking about millennials and female veterinarians. Just talk a little bit about your experience of when you first got into practice, and you and I both have discussed before the show. This isn't a show about, this isn't a feminist movement or a sexist movement or anything of that nature. This is just, hey, let's talk about what you see, what's coming, and how we deal with it and work forward.
Absolutely. When I first got into practice, I remember visiting with some of my bovine clients, and they would refer to me as Miss, and it wasn't offensive because there's a statistical fact that a lot of beef producers are older gentlemen, and that's who you're going to deal with when you're working in that industry. And So I knew I had arrived and I had found my place when they started referring to me as Doc instead of Miss. And so there's not a lot of things working against me, more so than my age, I believe, because when you walk out there, you gotta earn your ranks, and your gender isn't always the issue at hand.
Right, and I think it's important that, they did the same thing to me. I remember walking into the feed yard the first time and then saying, "Hey, rookie," or, and the time when someone said, "Well, maybe you ought to be leaving the check on my desk instead of me handing you a check, because I feel like I'm teaching you more than you're teaching me." And so, we go through that ribbing and that, but that's when you know that you're part of the group too.
Yes.
It's when they, it's when they say, I don't want that one. And there's nothing wrong with them saying that, it's no different than me wanting a second opinion or a different doctor to look at my knee or my daughter's knee or something to that nature. Absolutely. We all have those types of things. So talk a little bit about apprehensions you might have had.
It's a little hard to walk into an operation of any size. People drawing their daily paycheck from their beef herd or their feed yard or their growing operation, and it's really hard to walk in there as a young person and tell them things that they're doing wrong, and those kind of vulnerabilities are difficult to deal with because nobody wants to hear that, let alone from the person who just arrived on the ground from college. And so
right.
Those are some difficulties that anyone would face breaking into those family businesses.
Well, I want to take a break, but when I come back, I want to talk to you a little bit more about what can farmers and ranchers do when they see a new veterinarian or when they're working with a new veterinarian to kind of help bridge that gap, help gain confidence, and actually get more out of their veterinary service.
Okay.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching DocTalk. More with Dr. Barnhardt when we return.
Some call it a come-from-behind victory, an unlikely win, a reversal of fortune, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. This is our moment, our victory dance, because we choose confidence. We choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment. Ask your veterinarian to prescribe Zuprevo. Zuprevo is a fast-acting, long-lasting BRD treatment that you can count on to get the job done. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo from Merck Animal Health.
Do your cattle struggle with pink eye, BRD, or another disease? Contact Newport Laboratories for a customized solution. Our custom-made vaccines are produced using the specific diseases found in your area. These USDA licensed vaccines offer potential cost savings on vaccine and labor. Contact your veterinarian or Newport Laboratories the next time your cattle are in need of a custom solution. Newport Laboratories custom-made vaccine, because every situation is different.
It must be an inherited trait, because I have never wanted to do anything other than be in the cattle business. And it's interesting, as I have grandchildren now, little bitty ones, all they want to do is go to the barn, swing a rope, and be a cowboy. It's something, it's a lifestyle that we have, the way we make a living, obviously. But it's really more than that. It gives us the opportunity as a family to be able to work together and enjoy each other's company and make a living at the same time. We've been using Triangle for years, and the reason we do it's been safe and effective, and we're going to continue to do that. We'll put the cows in the chute twice a year, spring and fall. 100% of our cattle get vaccinated with Triangle.
Calves require adequate, high-quality colostrum immediately following birth to receive the immune and nutritional support needed to fight diseases and thrive. Next-generation Colostrix colostrum replacer and supplement are USDA licensed to aid in the treatment of failure of passive transfer and contain natural maternal bovine colostrum antibodies against E. coli K99. Ask your animal health supplier for Colostrix or visit agrilabs.com for details. Colostrix makes all systems go.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Tera Barnhardt, and we are in Wildcat Country, where Dr. Barnhardt is a Kansas State University alumni from our veterinary school and undergraduate, is a true Kansan and someone that has really been supportive of our programs at K-State and supportive of agriculture in the state of Kansas. This is one of the rock stars of the future, and we're tickled to death to have her here on the show. And Tera, talk to me a little bit, because one of the things is you know, it's okay to be rough and gruff, but what are some of the things that farmers or ranchers could do when a new veterinarian, male or female, but because I think that's really the one thing that you said today that made me feel good was being male or female really wasn't the problem. It was more of, okay, now I'm a new vet. I'm the young person coming in. How do I make an impact, or how do I do that? Well, can producers or ranchers do something to help you?
I think just that invitation to come out to your operation. That's the big thing, is get your veterinarians out there on the farm, seeing what you do. We can't help or offer advice on things that we don't know are going on. And there's a lot of times we're in the clinic, busy with clinic work, and if you just called and got us out on your operation, that's the first thing. Getting your foot in the door, connecting with someone, building that trust and saying, I accept your advice and I want to utilize your expertise in my business. And so that's the first step, is get our truck out on the highway headed towards your farm.
Yep, I think that's a great point, because you got to build the relationship, build the trust, and you have to understand, okay, what kind of operation do you have? What are your facilities? What are your expertise? What kind of cattle do you have? You know, all those things are going to be rolled into making your decisions, aren't they?
I think a big thing that I worry about is my safety, because if I get hurt on the job, I'm not going to be able to continue to work. And so those kind of things, if we can make sure that our facilities are safe, if we can make sure that we can handle cattle appropriately and safely for the animals, we can provide really good care collaboratively as a part of the team managing the operation.
Don't you think that also helps keep, I mean, you know, we tend to think of the facilities at a veterinary clinic, but the facilities at farms and ranches could also have an impact on how veterinarians want to do work and feel safe about doing it and keeping that veterinarian within the area.
Absolutely. I love working in facilities that are well designed for human and animal comfort, and that's a big thing. If you're crawling in the side of a chute, and I have the ability to do that all day long, but I don't have the ability to do that for 30 years. So we have to make those kind of adjustments. That I understand it costs money to do that, but it's a good investment for your business to realize that you can bring that animal health expert out there and provide them a place to provide you a service.
So I think the big thing is making you feel like you're part of the production team, getting you out on the farm so you can see what's going on. You can't just talk about it over the water cooler at the clinic.
Or the phone. You can't text message this stuff and figure it out.
Right. So get you on the farm, make you part of the team, and have good facilities. Those would be some keys.
Absolutely.
All right, folks. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back with a wrap-up with Dr. Barnhardt after these messages.
Did you know long-range planning through the checkoff can help keep your business profitable? To successfully pass on cattle operations from one generation to the next, it's important to promote beef and keep farms and ranches profitable. Your beef checkoff helps do that.
We are Mike and
Martha
Armitage here at the A-Bar Ranch, Claremore, Oklahoma. We're a unique operation. We both have a background in agriculture production. Strong believers but the unfortunate thing is, many of you know, the transition from generation to generation can be extremely difficult. And now we've also got the Beef Checkoff program as a leader in helping that transition of generation to generation.
As somebody who has been through a generational passing and will go through with his family in the future years to come, I know how important it is that we take our money and we invest it in the right places. And so that $1 gives us so much for our return on our investment. And so I'm excited that what the Beef Checkoff has to offer in terms of promotion and marketing, what it will return to us in the future.
You know, now that we have a child and we have this ranch and this incredible opportunity to further our lifestyle rooted in agriculture and then pass that on down to our son.
The future of agriculture is dependent upon this, our youth that are coming along, and the average producer is in the 50s. And so we're going to have a big transition within the next 10 to 20 years of all these ag lands, and we find it extremely important that we have the right leadership and we enhance our ability to transmit these ranch lands and these cattle operations to the next generation.
It's easy to spot the man who uses Synanthic. With lower volume and less waste, Synanthic steps up your deworming routine. Get more deworming with less dewormer at Synanthic.com.
Beringer Ingelheim Vetmedica Inc. knows the importance of beef quality assurance and asks you to step up and get certified. Go to bqa.org for details.
This segment is brought to you by the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Kansas Beef Council, improving animal care and beef safety for more than 20 years.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Tera Barnhardt, and she is the coordinator of animal health and welfare for Cattle Empire. And they're located in Satana, Kansas, down in the southwest corner of Kansas. A great operation, great family atmosphere. Just one of the gems of Kansas and the Midwest when it comes to cattle feeding and cattle raising. And I'm sure you fit in quite well there.
It's a wonderful team to be a part of, and I feel really lucky to be able to be a part of the team at Cattle Empire.
Well, it's awesome, and I'm sure they feel the same way. Now, let's talk about young veterinarians. You know, we talked about, well, what can a producer do to help you fit in? You know, there's two sides to a veterinary client-patient relationship. So what's your advice to a young millennial veterinarian heading out there to go work?
I think my family we got to throw K-State back into it, because my family of Kansas State University graduates told me at a really young age that I could be anything I wanted to be, and they meant it. But that comes with the ability to work hard for what you want, to be passionate for who you serve, and to just treat every day like I'm going to work and I really enjoy what I'm doing. And so I think millennial veterinarians need to have that attitude every day. If we're going to go out with a servant's attitude and get out in the industry and do some of the hard work, but offer some of the services that our producers need from animal health professionals.
It's not quite like vet school, is it?
It's a little bit different.
Yeah, well, and I think that's one of the things I hear practice owners say, you know, that vet school, while we think we're doing a lot to train, it's totally different than getting into a busy practice atmosphere. You got to get this done. You got to jump on to the next case.
Absolutely. It's a fast-paced environment in the real world, and that's something we have to be prepared for and take on those challenges. I think the biggest thing in veterinary school is we're trained to always have the right answer, and sometimes in the real world you just don't get that luxury. And so figuring out how to make things work without always having the correct answer at hand, we still have to feed cattle, and we still have to make sure that the animals are taken care of. And so
yeah, and I think that, you know, hustling, understanding your trade, and being flexible and polite and humble and serving, I think those are all things that help us all be successful. But, you know, it's some of those things we can't teach, right?
Absolutely. I think they're taught at home. Way before vet school.
Yeah, way before vet school. So we'll start putting that in the admissions requirement.
That'd be a good one it'd be a hard box to check, but it'd be a good one to check.
You got it. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on the show.
And folks, thanks for watching the show. And thanks again to Mogo Goulay Cattle out of Alabama. Thanks for sending the hat in, folks. Always good to know that people are out there watching and sending things in. Remember, if you want to know what we do at DocTalk, you can find us on the web at www.doctalktv.com. Always work with your local veterinarian. Thanks for watching the show today. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson, and I'll see you down the road.
Closed captioning brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value. DocTalk was brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.